Lewis Hamilton will love comments on Valtteri Bottas made by ex-F1 star Ralf Schumacher. That's according to former driver Ralf Schumacher, who believes the Finn's performance in winning the Australian Grand Prix was a one-off. Bottas jumped Hamilton off the line and dominated the race to pick up the victory. But it has since emerged that the world champion had floor damage to his Mercedes car, which was hampering the performance. "I would say that it was just a good weekend for him, Bottas, no more and no less," Schumacher said on his Starting Grid podcast. "I would not interpret that much. He showed in qualifying that he is on the level of Hamilton, but in the end he was still a tenth away because he has just made the famous mistake without Hamilton's damaged underbody and the start. It would be the usual picture, I'm pretty sure. That's why, yes, it's good that he made it, but we do not have a new Bottas, which would be very surprising." Schumacher believes consistency and momentum is what Bottas will need to have any chance of competing with Hamilton. The Mercedes driver will also be looking over his shoulder as Esteban Ocon looks to take his seat for next year. Bottas definitely needs the momentum, no question about last year, and he's a driver anyway, who can be as quick as an arrow, but not so constant and not so constantly under pressure, he explained. He did not really have that kind of pressure that race because he could lead. Lewis's strength is his consistency, his ability to race at the right time, and then I want him, Bottas, to do it, but I would be very surprised if he had learned that over the winter. It's also a character thing after all, but he still drove a strong race, which makes me very happy for him. And Schumacher thinks Hamilton would have struggled to get past Bottas in Melbourne even with a healthy car. Lewis would have had to overtake him with a good car first, and I would not have seen it that weekend, he explained. F1 action returns next weekend with the Bahrain Grand Prix. Ferrari driver Sebastian Vettel came away with the victory last season. Next news, "Stop being them" is not targeted at Red Bull. Daniel Ricciardo insists his message of "Stop being them" is not directed at his former team Red Bull, rather it is about having freedom. The Aussie left Red Bull Racing at the end of last season with his then team boss Christian Horner accusing him of being afraid to fight Max Verstappen. Ricciardo has stated several times that had nothing to do with it, although he does reckon Red Bull want to ensure Verstappen becomes F1's youngest ever champion. Arriving in Melbourne last week for the season opening race, his first with new team Renault, Ricciardo debuted a new look helmet that features the words "Stop being them." He says it is not a message to Red Bull. It's not targeted at Red Bull, but just having the freedom, with Renault, to do whatever I want. I figured why not go for something crazy and different, Ricciardo told ESPN. So, "Stop being them" is basically just encouragement to be yourself and don't follow trends. If you like going a certain way, then be bold and do it. Next news, Mick honored to be compared to his father. Mick Schumacher says he isn't worried about being compared to his father Michael, adamant the added pressure has never been a problem. While 19-year-old Schumacher is making his way through the motor racing ranks, stepping up to Formula 2 this season with Prema, he does so with the shadow of his father, Michael, hanging over him. The German won an unprecedented 7 world titles in Formula 1, including a run of 5 successive championships with Ferrari. Living with the Schumacher name, and especially having opted to follow in his father's footsteps, means added pressure and attention on young Schumacher. He insists he's okay with that. After all, he is being compared to the best in history. "Being compared to my father was never a problem for me," Schumacher said. "For me, being compared to the best driver in F1 history is the goal you want to achieve. I feel honored to be compared to him because I can learn and try to improve. Schumacher already has ties to his father's former team, Ferrari, having been signed to the Scuderia's driver academy. I can learn so much from Ferrari because they have so much experience, he said. The first impressions I had with Ferrari were so heart-opening, welcoming me to a family that was always part of my family. I guess the combination of both was very positive. This season, though, his main focus is Formula 2 have been promoted to the series after winning last year's European Formula 3 title. The step itself isn't that huge. In terms of lap times, we're quite a bit quicker, in F2, but it is more understanding the tires. That will be the most difficult part, he said. It's going to be a bit of a different challenge this year. We have a lot more people surrounding the car, so that's going to be nice and different. To be able to get a bond to them is very important, especially at the beginning of the year. Next news: Alfa Romeo signed Correa as 2019 development driver. Alfa Romeo have signed Formula 2 driver Juan Manuel Correa as their development driver for the 2019 F1 season. The 19-year-old American, who is currently competing in Formula 2 with the Sauber Junior team, will spend time with Alfa Romeo on Grand Prix weekends as well as working behind the scenes with the team. We are happy to announce that Juan Manuel Correa has joined Alfa Romeo Racing, said Frederick Vasseur. Juan Manuel will be taking on a new challenge with our team as our development driver, and we look forward to further advancing his skills in support of his progress as a racing driver. Correa was 12th last season in GP3 and called his new Alfa Romeo role a privilege. Correa added, "To have received this opportunity, and to be a part of such an iconic team and brand in motorsports, Formula 1 in particular, is a privilege for any driver." I will do my best to honor the opportunity I have been given and want to thank Fred and the entire Alfa Romeo Racing team for having me. I'm excited for what the future has to hold. Next news: Schumacher, there is no new Bottas. Former Formula 1 racer Ralf Schumacher believes Valtteri Bottas only won in Australia due to Lewis Hamilton's floor damage. Bottas won the race by a 20-second margin over his teammate who suffered balance and tire management issues, with the team later confirming that an element of the floor on Hamilton's car was missing. Schumacher cited this as the only reason for Bottas' dominance, claiming Hamilton is faster in qualifying and race trim, a trend that will return from now on. "I would say that was just a good weekend for him, no more and no less," Schumacher said on his Starting Grid podcast. "I would not interpret that much. He showed in qualifying that he is on the level of Hamilton, but in the end he was still a tenth away because he has just made the famous mistake without Hamilton's damaged underbody and the start. It would be the usual picture, I'm pretty sure." That's why, yes, it's good that he made it, but we do not have a new Bottas, which would be very surprising. Schumacher, a 6-time race winner in Formula 1, believes that Bottas needs to build momentum if he has any chance of competing with Hamilton, saying the Brit's strongest weapon is his consistency. Bottas definitely needs the momentum, no question about last year, and he's a driver anyway, who can be as quick as an arrow, but not so constant and not so constantly under pressure, he explained. He did not really have that kind of pressure that race because he could lead. Lewis's strength is his consistency, his ability to race at the right time, and then I want him, Bottas, to do it, but I would be very surprised if he had learned that over the winter. It's also a character thing after all, but he still drove a strong race, which makes me very happy for him. However, Schumacher believes that if both Mercedes had have been in full health, Hamilton would still have struggled to pass his teammate for the win. Lewis would have had to overtake him with a good car first, and I would not have seen it that weekend, he stated. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.